Hey, what's up? This Chris Edwards, and I'm here to talk about the first Funkadelic album. And this is the first of a new series that I'm starting to do. Every day and night, I'm trying to bring every P-Funk Parliament Funkadelic album known to do reviews on them. And today, we're going to discuss the first Funkadelic album. Recorded between 1968 through 1969 and 70 on Westbound Records, the first Funkadelic album. You know, George Clinton discovered acid, and he decided to go crazy and fall out and bizarre. And to this day, we love him for it. The first Funkadelic album is important because it started a whole new era of psychedelic rock, heavily influenced by LSD, Jimi Hendrix and Sly Stone and the Beatles. George Clinton decided to make his own space age funk. So I could talk about this album all day long because it's one of my favorites. And let's get started. The first song, "Mommy Was a Funkadelic." George Clinton starts with his signature catchphrase, "If you will suck my soul, I will lick your." To this day, George will say that on stage, and he lets you know that he's an alien and he come here to play with your funky mind. Now, on co-lead vocals, the song is Mr. Eddie Hazel. Backup vocals, Hot Butter Soul, and the music is provided by the Funk Brothers, Ray Monette, Dennis Coffey, Bob Babbitt, and Tiki Ford on drums. Even though some people swear it's Andrew Smith on drums, but Tiki Ford is on drums. And Tiki Ford plays drums on the majority of the album. You can hear Tiki on "Mommy Was a Funkadelic," "I Got a Thing," "Good Old Music," "Qualified to Satisfy," and "What Is Soul." Plus, "As Good as I Can Feel," "Fish Chips and Sweat," and "Can't Shake It Loose." The outtakes. Anyway, the beat on "Mommy Was a Funkadelic" is one of the best songs ever. It's been sampled by Cool G Rap and Big Mello and lots of others. And it's bizarre. And the next song, "I Bet You," first done by Teresa Lindsay back in the early 60s. George and Funkadelic decided to cover it for this one. Lead vocals, the whole Parliament crew. Eddie sings first, then Calvin, then Ray, then Fuzz Grady, with Pat Lewis in the background singing. And that one of the first, the rare times I hear Grady Thomas on any vocal. Anyway, there are three guitar players on "I Bet You." Eddie Hayes on the solo, Dennis Coffey and Ray Monette, who starts it off with Andrew Smith on drums and Bob Babbitt on bass. And I think Earl Van Dyke on keyboards. Anyway, "I Bet You" has been sampled a lot, and you can hear the Beastie Boys and EPMD sing. Also, the Jackson 5 and Jerry Butler covered it. And you gotta admit, the Jackson 5 didn't make, but they can't fuck with the Funkadelics on this one. I'm sorry, but Eddie Hazel kick ass on every track he played on. Third song is "Music for My Mother." George, heavily influenced by the blues, and his mom was a blues fan, he decided to do a blues track. "Music for My Mother" with Herb Sparkman on lead vocals. It's the only song he did with Funkadelic, period, before he left. You know, George had a problem paying people. Just keep it real. And on guitar, Eddie Hazel, Billy Nelson on bass, Brad Enos on drums. And one of the best songs on the album, funky and got a nice blues tone. And my grandma used to say, it sounds like they're back in the woods. And the lyrics like like Keep Running Mississippi and Down by the Beat Up Railroad Train, you know, and if you want to say George and them went, so they sold the crossroads, so be it. I got a thing, you got a thing, we all got a thing. This song's about getting high. I'm gonna keep it real, and George kept it real when it came to the drugs. I don't think they ever recorded nothing sober. So Eddie Hazel is not on this track. Ray Monette does the lead with Billy Nelson on vocals, T-Key on drums, and it is the only track on the album with Bernie Worrell featured on keyboards. And Bernie is not was not a member yet, but he was on his way. Anyway, Ray Monette to give him some Hendrix, and they gave it to him. But you know, the song sound like kind of like when Hendrix meets Sly Stone. If Sly and Jimmy would have did a song together, they would have made that. So one of the and Tiki delivered. I mean, he sound like a bomb. The boy bad. Rest in peace, Tiki Forward. And once again, the next track, Good Old Music, done the year before by the Parliaments. Tiki Forward, he kicks ass on throughout this song. This is one of my favorite tracks he did. It is much sample. The drum break been sampled to death. Everybody from Rap A Lot, DOC, Warface, Ghetto Boys, Above the Law, they all sample that drum break. Well, I can't blame them. It's a kick-ass drum break. Rest in peace, Tiki, once again. Billy Nelson, Fuzzy Haskins on lead vocals, Pat Lewis, Hot Butter Soul on backing vocals, Bob Babbitt on bass. At the end of the song, he goes into Ball of Confusion, and Eddie Hazel on lead guitar. On keyboards, possibly Mickey Atkins. I heard Mickey didn't play on none of the album. Who knows, man? You know, it's very weird on P-Funk albums on who played what, and some of it's debatable. I done debated against a lot of people on who did what. This song is Qualified to Satisfy. My favorite track on the album. Eddie Hazel just goes off on the whole track. He goes from this and schizophrenic guitar playing into Hendrix. Eddie playing like, well, you like Jimmy? Well, check this funk out. Anyway, Calvin Simon on lead, and you can hear George in the background somewhere. I think this is the only track Tall Ross played rhythm on the whole album. Billy Nelson on bass, Tiki on drums, on keyboards, possibly Mickey Atkins. I love Qualified to Satisfy. Eddie goes off, and last track, What Is Soul? George once again goes into his little freaky thing, talking about who he was. He's Funkadelic, and loan me your funky mind, and I will play with it. And once George play with your funky mind, you ain't never the same. Anyway, I love the track. Once again, Tiki kicked ass on the drums. Tiki kicked ass on that whole album. Every song Tiki played on that album, Tiki kicked ass on. Bob Babbitt on bass. Hearing the la 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 la. George, Fuzzy, Calvin, and Billy on vocals. Smoking weed, passing a blunt to each other. You can hear him coughing throughout the whole song, you know. And George, and you know that Funkadelic is a way of life, what they were doing. Heavy drug scene, you know, sex, drugs, rock and roll. Funkadelic was doing it too. Yeah, who wasn't doing drugs? But anyway, that is the first Funkadelic album, and one of the best examples of the black rock. One of the best black rock albums of all time, next to Jimi Hendrix Band of Gypsies. I love it. I mean, the drums, the guitars, you know, Eddie Hazel goes off, but Tiki goes off too, and they're the stars of the album. And now, the outtakes. Open Our Eyes, church song. Eddie Hazel grew up singing it, and he decided to to sing it, and it had a good voice, and he does Hendrix influenced acid guitar solo at the end. Now on keyboards, I don't know who on keyboards. I don't know. I don't think it's Bernie, but had Hot Butter Soul singing back up, and later on the Free Your Mind album, George took Open Our Eyes and played it backwards and made Eulogy and Light. Then there's As Good As I Can Feel, which is instrumental. Funkadelic use it as a warm-up session before shows, and it's a pretty decent tune. It kind of sounds similar to Rose Williams' Whatever Make My Baby Feel Good. On the As Good As I Can Feel track, Eddie Hazel once again, guitar, Nelson Tiki on drums. Keyboards, possibly Mickey Atkins. And then you have Can't Shake It Loose, on first done by Pat Lewis. Ironically, because Pat Lewis sing backing vocals with George Calvin and Eddie Hazel on this version. But on the Supremes did it too. But Can't Shake It Loose is a good tune. Very funky, very raw, but I like George's version. This Funkadelic version is raw. It was supposed to come out in 1969, but it didn't. Anyway, Tiki on drum, possibly Eddie on guitar, but he do sing after Calvin. Last but not least, Fish, Chips, and where they took one of Jimi Hendrix' songs from Third Stone from the Sun and revamped it into their own. Then George and the gang wanna remake one of their old tunes. I believe it's Roy Handy. What one is? Baby That's a Groove. Yeah. But George and them always remaking their songs anyway. Anyway, on this version on Fish, Chips, and Sweat, I love Tiki's drumming. It reminds me of Sly Stone's drumming on I Wanna Take You Higher. And on lead vocals is Fuzzy Haskins, with Eddie Hazel kicking in the verse like, before I put the key in the lie. Oh, that's Eddie. Some say it's Billy, but it's Eddie. Well, it sound like Eddie. First of all, well, that's it for the first Funkadelic album. Be good, Funketeers, and I'll be back with another review very soon. I'm gonna try to do as many as I can every day and night. So thanks. If I said something you ain't like, or if you want to correct me or anything, be free to. I mean, I'm open to all comments and criticism. What's up? Holla.